We're in trances, going all to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed, you left us high.
Good afternoon and welcome to Let's Talk with Sandra. Today, my show is going to be celebrating the life and loss of my son, my 18-year-old son, PFC Michael Anthony Carter Jr., whom we lost February 7th of 2018. So as we're approaching his 5th year anniversary, I thought it would be nice to just share a little about Mike to those of you who don't know him, and for those of you who do, just as a remembrance in honor of Mike, as we call him. Just briefly, Mike was born February 25th of 1999 in Maryland. This is me with him in my tummy. And this is the day Mike was born. I believe it was 12:45 a.m. if my memory if my memory serves me right. After the birth of Mike, we moved to Atlanta, Georgia. I have a picture here with him on his first flight. In this picture, he was actually 3 weeks old. He always had those big eyes, those beautiful big eyes of his. So in Atlanta, Georgia, he spent, I would say, his first 4 years in Atlanta, along with his brother Jamal and I. And I just have some pictures to share. We're looking at some more baby pictures of Mike here. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. He was a beautiful baby. Then this is him and I. This is me holding him. That was the day we were leaving, actually, for Georgia. This is one of my favorite pictures right here. A picture of him and I taken, I believe he was 2 in that picture. This picture right here is some modeling work that he did when we lived in Georgia. This was his card. There's some more pictures of him and I growing up. This is a picture of him when he attended school for the first time in Georgia with his little star with his name on there. This is him and his brother, Jamal. This is when he received one of his certificates of good merits for academic merits at school in Georgia. And then from there we moved to that's him and his brother as he got a little older, sleeping. And we have pictures of him playing baseball when he got a little older. And then he also started playing soccer. And you can see the different stages of him. Those pictures were taken in Princess Anne, Maryland, where we eventually lived. Or there's another picture of him on a soccer team. You can see the way the age went back, as he started getting older and older. This is actually a picture of Mike. It's not very clear when he did play when he was a tap dancer when we lived in DC. And this here is my absolute favorite picture of him and I. I remember when we went and got this picture taken at the studio. So, like I said, we lived in Georgia. He was really homeschooled a lot in Georgia, and I think only attended school for a couple of months before we moved to DC. Once in DC, he went to a magnet school where he did tap, ballet. He joined the Cub Scouts, and then he wanted to try boxing. So at the age of 5, he started his boxing career. It just seems as though anything to do with contact sports Mike absolutely loved. But at age 6, we moved to the country, Princess Anne, Maryland. Along with his brother, his father and I, his brother's dad and I, we moved to Princess Anne, Maryland on a farm, a 19.5 acre farm. So this is where Mike's life story really began, I would say, because the farm became his home. He was a regular old country boy. He shot his BB guns, shot a regular shotgun, went fishing, crabbing. We had goats. He had the ducks. He had his we were able to get a dog, so we had a dog there for him, and he lived a really happy childhood life along with his friends from Deal Island Elementary School. Everyone was either in the Cub Scout, or they played soccer, or they played baseball, or they played basketball. So there was always something to do, and it was a very exciting time. All the parents partook in whatever the kids were doing, so we were all like one big family. This is one of the pictures, is Mike's picture of him attending Deal Island School. This picture was taken in like 2009, coming on to 2010. You can see how small he is. He was probably the smallest one in his class at that time. So as the years went on, he graduated from elementary school and then attended middle school. He also attended high school in Princess Anne, Maryland. Throughout his kindergarten years, he played football and soccer at the Somerset County Soccer Hall, indoor soccer building that we had. So once he started high school, he continued on with his football love for football, playing all the way until he graduated. He also continued playing soccer. Then he also took up track and field, indoor and outdoor. He didn't have a great love for basketball, but he tried his hands on basketball. He tried his hands on tennis. He tried his hands in band, just the different things. And it was just always so amazing to see the love and joy that Mike had and the excitement. He would say, "Mom, I'm getting an adrenaline rush," when it was time to play football and basketball, etc. Like I said, he loved the contact sport. Right here, this is a plaque that Mike purchased for me while he was in elementary school. And I'll read it. It says, "Mother, a female parent, a female parent, one who listens to teachers, teaches, inspires, motivates, and encourages her children. A woman who loves unconditionally, one who is giving, nurturing, caring, and kind. a woman who is admired, cherished, and deeply loved. Sandra. I remember when he bought this home from school and gave it to me, and he was so excited. He kept saying, "Mom, I ordered you something. Mom, I ordered you something." And this was in elementary school. So he was always a loving, caring person, loved his mother, loved his brothers and sisters. That was Mike. So in 2017, he graduated from high school. This is his yearbook. And there he is. These are his graduating class. And there he is with his words. It says, 4 years varsity football, indoor outdoor track, and Washington high school league. His words were, "Don't slack off before you get to the finish line, because you can always retake the test, but you don't want to repeat the grade." And that's the kind of thinking he always had. He was also, on this page, they had a page with baby pictures, and that's the baby picture that he entered. And you can see the rest of his classmates. They all did their entered their baby pictures. And his graduating class actually was extremely large. This was their graduating class for 2017. Right here. Look how large that class was. It was absolutely the proudest moment of our lives as a family to watch baby Mike, because he was the baby. He was the 7-year under his older brother. So it was amazing to see him graduate. This is his pack that he ran with, his friends, his brothers, right here. There's Mike back there. And these are all now my children, as I call them. Let me see. He did. That's him here. Track and field, Washington High School track and field. That's Mike running. And that's him in the picture with his team. Yes. And of course, number 25, Michael Carter. This is the football team right here. Washington, they won a lot of games and they lost a lot of games. So prior to Mike's graduation at the age of 16, he made the decision to join the military. I remember when he came home and he was excited. He said, "Mom, a recruiter came to our school today." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, they were talking about us, the option of joining the military." I said, "And what did you think about that?" He said, "Mom, I think I might want to do that." I said, "Really? Which branch do you think you would want to enlist in?" And he said, "The Marines." I said, "Really, Mike, the Marines?" He said, "Yes, that if that's what you want to do, we'll get it done." And shortly thereafter, we went down to the recruiter's office in Salisbury, Maryland, and spoke to the recruiter. They understood that he was serious about joining. I actually had to sign paperwork to get him enlisted through his recruiter. On Saturdays, if he wasn't playing football or doing any extracurricular activities. He will go down to the recruiter's office and run and train and do sit-ups and whatever they do to prepare himself to become a Marine. So it was about a week after he graduated, he left for basic training in Paris Island. And don't let me tell you that my heart was in my hands, because I didn't realize that the first phone call that I would get from him to let me know that he had arrived safely was going to be so short. So, I had it all in my mind with all the questions I'm going to ask him about the ride, etc. And when I picked up the phone, all I heard was this rattle off of numbers. And the end said, "We arrived." And that was it. As soon as I started to say, "Oh, but that phone was hung up. They did not allow those young men to be on the phone with their mummies or puppies or whoever to start complaining or talk about a ride. It was their platoon, maybe their ID number, their name, their rank. I made it safely, and that was it. And I thought, man, I cried. Yes, I did. I cried that night. I cried that night. So, Mike actually turned 18 in basic training. While he was in basic training, the only form of communication was through letters. So these are all the letters he saved in his personal items. After he deceased, I got these. These are all the letters I wrote him, because I would write him like 2 letters a day, because I absolutely wanted him to know that he was loved. His sisters would write him, his brothers would write him, but I wanted him to know that he was loved by me, and that every day he would have a letter to open, because that's their only form of communication. And I knew the importance of, I felt that I knew, and I was absolutely right, the importance for him to know that he's supported and loved while he's away from his family for the first time, mind you, for 3 whole months. And these are the letters that he wrote back in exchange, which was so funny to me, because these kids today, they don't like to write. They want to text. That's but to put pen to paper, they don't do that. And I'm gonna read to you one of the letters that Mike wrote to me. It says, so on Monday is when we start preparing. I have to take a break. I prepared myself mentally for today to do this, because I knew that it was going to be hard. So bear with me, please. If I seem like I'm faltering or I'm about to break down, I might. But I know my son would want me to be strong, because he was strong. But I'll just read this letter that he wrote. Jasmine is the name of his sister. And he wrote, "Dear Mom, I don't know if Jasmine told you or not, but I passed the swim test." I was so worried about him in that swim test. So on Monday is when we start preparing the shooting position. It's going to suck, because we're going to be out in the grass, stuck in the same position for almost an hour. But I'll be okay. Yesterday, we went on a long hike. It was a lot easier this time, because I bought insoles for my boots. It sucks to hear how bad Honey has been acting since we left. Honey was the name of our dog at the farm. And she wasn't doing well after we weren't all there, and just her with Pops. She misses us a lot. That's why she's acting like that. I can't wait to come home. Make sure you tell Dad to check the mail, because I had to put his address on an application for my account, because I didn't remember Jasmine's, his sister's. So tell him to be on the lookout just in case. But other than that, everything is fine. I got my uniform and stuff. I got fitted for them. Plus I took my official military pictures in my dress blues. It looks really nice. I also ordered those pictures, so it's like the same you have at school, but it costs more. I probably spent at least $180 total, but I'll get all the pictures for the day before I graduate, October 13. It's still my graduation date. I'll see you and everyone there. I love you, Mom. Tell Jamal and Jazz that I'm fine, and I said hi. That's one. And one of my second favorite letters from Mike is this one. It's just something else. I'll just read part of this one. And he wrote this letter 7/29/2017. He was still in basic training. He says, through everything else, I got on Jay's card too. You're the first person to write me so far. I knew that was going to happen. I thank you so much for taking care of me for 18 years. I know I didn't show it a lot, but I really appreciate everything you have done for me, and I'm going to make you proud. I love you, Mom. And when your 18-year-old gets wise enough to understand the duty of a single mother, I still consider myself single, even though I didn't raise Mike alone. But for a lot of years, his brother and I, where it was just the three of us, and for him to tell me, to say thank you, and let me know that even though he didn't show it, he appreciated everything that I did. It touches my heart, because so often today we think that our kids aren't paying attention to us. We think they're not grateful. We think they don't understand. But they get to age 18 when they do understand. So this letter means a lot to me. While in basic training, Mike also received quite a few certificates for charitable work that he did. And I have a few of them right here that I would like to share. This is a certificate of appreciation he received for volunteering. This one there. This is, you get the other certificate. Another certificate that he received for volunteering. He must have, I believe he has about three or more. This is his certificate with his completion for his infantry. So we move on, and I'm gonna skip back because right here I'm holding in my hands some artwork that Mike drew for me when he attended elementary school at Deal Island, from Mike to Mom. This was his picture of someone ascending into heaven. See, he drew it from here. They went into the earth and then they ascended up to heaven, and now they're in heaven right there. And I keep this framed. And also, I have a book that I believe everyone in D-Line school had to write, and their teacher turned their artwork into a book. His is called The Discovery of Pluto. Here we go. It says The Discovery of Pluto by Michael Carter. And these are pictures that he actually drew himself. And these fingers just aren't doing what they're supposed to. Dedicated to SmackDown and WWE. Not to Mummy. It says, Pluto revolves about, this is Pluto right here. It says, Pluto revolves around the sun once in 247.93 years at the average distance of, and he's got all the numbers written. I'm not going to go through the numbers. These are the numbers. Distance from the sun, it's 3.7 billion miles diameter. In diameter, 7.8 miles. Pluto has weather to change colors, and it takes 12 years to go to Pluto. Pluto might be a huge asteroid. Pluto's named after Romans and Greek gods of the underworld. In the coldest, smallest, and outermost planet in our solar system, Pluto and its moon share our, this is a 5-year-old right in here. Pluto takes 2.48 years to orbit the sun. Pluto is the smallest and maximum distance planet from the sun. Pluto's satellite Charon, NASA diameters of approximately 12 kilometers. To orbit Pluto is usually, Pluto has 3 lower length, and it goes on. It's, it's the kid's handwriting. Let me just show you the picture. This is his Pluto, Sun, Uranus, Mars, Saturn. And I thought this was so cute that the teacher took their writing and their pictures and turned it into a book. So these I keep, as you can see, close to me as well. So we go into Mike's passing. On February 7th of 2018, I woke up at about 6:30 that morning. And I just kind of like jumped up out of my sleep. And I sent a text to Mike. And it said, "Good morning, Mike. This is Mom. Please be careful on the road this morning because it's supposed to be icy." That's just what my heart kept telling me. Something about an accident, or, tell him to be careful on the road. At about 7:15 later that morning, I got a call from his recruiter, who told me Mike was in an accident, and was I able to come down to Princess Anne. I was actually in Baltimore at my daughter's house. And I told him yes. My grandkids were home with me at the time. So as I started to get dressed to leave for Princess Anne, I thought, wow, I know which hospital they're going to take him to, because there's only one really main hospital that they could have taken him to from Princess Anne, and that would have been Salisbury. So I called the hospital to let them know that I would be on my way. And I called the emergency room, and I told them, this is Mike's mom. He's been in an accident. Could you just let him know that I'm on my way? And they put me on hold. And then another voice came back on. And I repeated myself. And the response that I got was, "I'm sorry, ma'am, he didn't make it." And as any mother knows, that was the worst time in my life. Like I say, I felt the essence leave out of my body, like a whole part of me just crept out of me, and a part of me died. My knees buckled like I couldn't stand on my feet. I always would see that in a movie, and I thought it was an act, but when it truly happened to me, it truly happens that way. And parents, especially mothers, I guess because we have a stronger bond with our kids, because we are carrying them for 9 months, we're feeding them for 9 months, we're talking to them for 9 months, so there's a special kind of a bond. So my son didn't make it. What I discovered was he was on his way into basic training that morning. He stayed at Princess Anne with his dad, aka stepdad, and he was on his way to the recruiter's office that morning. And for whatever reason, he lost control of his car. He wasn't speeding. We're not sure if he maybe nodded or something, but his car hit the rumble, and maybe the rumble startled him, and he lost control of his car, and it hit an X-light, which was connected to our guardrail. Unfortunately, the X-light didn't do what it was supposed to do by recoiling to take some of that hit. So it was like him hitting a brick wall. So according to the report, he appeared to have died on impact, because when he hit the X-light, it was like him hitting a brick wall, and he was only traveling anywhere between 35 to 40 or maybe 45 miles an hour. I grabbed his car. The car got flown. This is the picture that I have of the aftermath of the accident. He was here. This is the front. He still had his seatbelt on, and as you can see, here's his uniform, his jacket. There's his jacket. Proves that he was on his way to serve his country, to do the right thing, but he didn't make it. So after Mike's passing, needless to say, my life changed. I had two decisions to make. One, do I lay down and die? Do I hurry up and inflict pain on me so I can be with him right away? Or do I live and turn his memory into a positive purpose. For a year, I just existed. I went through the motion of life, but I wasn't doing anything. I just existed, and the only thing that I looked forward to was visiting my son's grave at Arlington National Cemetery every Sunday. So after Mike passed, my daughter, Jasmine, basically took care of everything because I hadn't the strength, I hadn't the willpower, I hadn't the thought, I hadn't the energy to even think about having to bury my son. So that chapter was hard. That service was hard. It was amazingly beautiful. I found out so many good things about him during that service. I received condolences from the state of Maryland, the state of Maryland Office of the Governor. I received a letter from the Maryland House of Delegates. Received a letter from General Robert Niller, whom I met during Mike's graduation. It says, "Please accept my deepest condolence as you cope with the loss of your son Michael. Nothing adequately prepares us to deal with such an overwhelming loss. It is our sincerest hope that you will find comfort and support from family and friends. I mourn with you and pledge that the Marine Corps family will do everything it can to assist you through these grief time." And let me tell you, the United States Marine did all they can for my son. They dressed him in his dress blues. No one would, they came in, they dressed him in his uniform and his dress blues. They draped a flag over his coffin. His coffin was paid for. Everything. They gave him they played the bugle at his funeral. He had the gun salute. It was absolutely amazing and touching to listen to his friends from Washington High School and come up, stand up and speak beautiful words for my son. To listen to his sergeant from basic training have beautiful words for my son. And I want to read another letter that always makes me proud, and I read it. I'm gonna not take as long. This is from Lieutenant Colonel Commanding Officer Keith Warren. "It is with great regret that I express my sincerest condolence to you and the entire Carter family on behalf of myself, my command, and the United States Marine Corps. For the loss of your son, Michael, I extend my deepest sympathy for your devastating loss. Your son, Private First Class Michael A. Carter Jr., arrived just before the holiday season and had only been with us a short time before he traveled to Maryland for recruiters' assistance. But in that time, it was clear that your son embraced the characteristics desired by all Marines, and he embodied the passion and commitment early on. Every commander hopes for a Marine like Michael, dependable and mature, loyal, and with a sense of humor. Those are just some of the traits that contributed to him becoming not only a friend with many of his fellow Marines, but also served him well as he was designated a unit leader among his peers. He sought even more responsibilities when he volunteered to assist his recruiter in the pursuit of qualified individual with the same courage, charisma, and character he carried with him daily. Michael is deeply missed, and we mourn his loss with a heavy heart. He served his country with self-worth and honor. I am hopeful that he may be celebrated for who he was and what he stood for. Moreover, I hope that this letter might provide some solace and serve as a respite during the most difficult times, and it does, because the Bible says that we should celebrate death and mourn life, mourn birth. So when I read these words about my son, it brings me joy and happiness. And Mike's death has also catapulted me into a stronger humanitarian. That's what I'm going to say. This is Mike's high school graduation picture. His prom picture. He was sharp. Yes, Lord. This is a track and field trophy that he won. And these were some track and field medals for a second. Washington Jaguar football trophy. A fishing trophy that Mike won when he was about 8 for catching the biggest fish in Princess Anne, Maryland. This is a medal. His high school diploma. This is Mike's corner right here. Mike's corner. Mike also received a letter from our then President Trump. It just says real quickly, the United States of America honor the memory of Michael Anthony Carter Jr. This certificate is awarded by the grateful nation in recognition of devoted and selfless consideration to the service of our country in the armed service of the United States. A proud letter to have. And then this here is a certificate that shows that I purchased a stone that has Mike's name and rank and platoon number engraved at Camp Lejeune, so that his name he will be a part of Camp Lejeune forever and ever, because that is where he earned his right to become a United States Marine. But like I said, Mike's life catapulted me into becoming a better humanitarian. My first battle or fight was to see how many lives could be saved by having the X-Light end terminal removed or replaced. and myself and Mr. Steve Eimers, who lost his daughter Hannah Eimers, the same way I lost Mike with a defected X-Lite. Together, him and I spoke on Capitol Hill, the House of Senate in Tennessee, where we were able to get certain laws passed, and the X-Lights in most states removed and replaced. There may only be 3 that still has it. I believe it's West Virginia, maybe 1, Pennsylvania, maybe 2. I can't exactly remember the others 2, but the fight never finishes. Needless to say, in honor of Mike's memory, the family and I started a foundation in his name. It's called the PFC Carter Jr. Foundation, and it's based in Indiana. This is our Indiana steel right here. Okay, this is our letter of incorporation. It is a 501c3 foundation, which means that everything and anything that we do will require donation. So I ask you and anyone that's listening, if you can visit the website, it's pfccarterjr.org, and be kind enough to make a donation to Mike's foundation. There are gifts applied to the donation, because after Mike passed, I also created some tennis shoes in his honor, and they're on our sites. You can see there's several different ones. You also get t-shirts and hoodies and hats with the logo on there. But one of the proudest thing and the most honorable thing that the Mike's Foundation is doing is that we have formed the PFC Michael Anthony Carter Jr. Memorial Scholarship. It's a 3-prize scholarship. First place is $500, second is $3, and third is $2. The requirements are high school seniors accepted into college or a trade program in a service field: emergency responder, police officers, teacher, nurse, etc. You have to come from a single parent. You have to be in a single parent home. This is important to me because for a lot of years I raised my boys by myself, and it was hard. It's hard sometimes to even try to find a meal for them or clothing, etc. So to get a scholarship to aid with attending college or a trade school is a great something of great value to any single parent, be it single mother or single father. The minimum GPA score has to be 3.0. You would need a letter of recommendation and a personal statement. And also, you will have to, one of the requirements is for you to write a letter talking about a service that you have provided in your community and what it meant to you. The scholarship information will be uploaded to the website. Once you go to the website, you will have the dates that the scholarship needs to be turned in, when to apply, and when the funding will be paid. So this is something that I'm extremely proud of. This is just a quick view. The PFC Michael Anthony Carter Jr. Memorial Scholarship. So I will keep you updated on that, and it will be uploaded onto his site. Last but not least, after my class, I became an American Gold Star mother. So it's Gold Star Mothers. This is one of the magazines that we get. American Gold Star Mothers, Inc. So what is a Gold Star mother? A Gold Star mother is a mother that has lost a child that served in the military. This loss does not only have to be, this loss is not only based on excuse me one second. And I'm sorry, excuse me, y'all. Sometimes I just have to get myself together emotionally. So to become a Gold Star mother, it doesn't necessarily have to be KIA, killed in action. If your child served at any age and they were killed in action, they died via an automobile accident or any accident, death by suicide, which is one of our largest which is a high number for military enlisted and unlisted. Death by suicide. As long as your child served in the military, you are entitled to becoming a Gold Star mother. And it's an honor that every mother that has a child that served and is no longer here should be a part of this organization. There is a fee to join the American Gold Star Mother. It is $35 a year. That funding goes toward all the give back that the American Gold Star Mothers do. They do service for our veterans. They do service in the community. We meet once a year in Washington, D.C., where we honor the grave and sites of our fallen heroes. There are different chapters. There's so much help that's provided to our Gold Star mothers through donations, through funding. And I'm proud, absolutely proud to be an American Gold Star mother. And I carry that name and I carry that weight with everything that I do. You know, every step that I take, every breath that I take, every move that I make is with pain. It's with an emotional pain. But I learn how to push through that. And when you come together with other Gold Star mothers and you share your stories, the one thing we always find is that our vets or our Marine or our Army or our Navy or our Air Force or our Guards, whatever they are, it seems as though their personality or their way was the same. They always were in sports or active in soccer or active in football. So we all share the same story. If you live in Indiana and you have lost a child that served this country, it doesn't matter how old you are as that mother, I would like for you to contact me. So if you are not already a Gold Star mother, so that I can help you become a Gold Star mother, you will get your gold pin. And you will have the honor of attending and you being honored all the American Gold Star mother's activities. You can reach me on the email that's on the PFC Michael Anthony Carter Jr. Foundation, and also the phone number is there. Phone number is 219-702-8522. Call me on that number if you are a Gold Star mother or if you aren't a Gold Star mother, so that we can all connect here in Indiana. Again, I want to thank you. Thank you for watching my show today. This was harder than it seemed, because it took me basically all day to get to this point to do the show. This is why I'm going to air it on Sunday, because it took all day and all my energy and all my strength, spiritually and physically, to put this together without breaking down and crying, because God is good, and he's using me for a better purpose for this. As you can see, I have Mike's boots right here. These are his boots that he wore in basic training. I keep these boots with me because it gives me strength. It gives me the strength that he had when he walked those over 200 and something miles with 80 pounds on his back to become a Marine. These right here, for those who know Mike, these were his favorite tennis shoes. He took care of these shoes like they were gold. And we all know that Mike loved WWE because he dedicated his book to that instead of Mummy. And this is his Rudy Piper doll that he's had for years. It was all nice and neat and inside the case, and then it got into moving, and now it looks like it. But this is one of his favorite pieces. It moves in different, moves here and there if it's not tied down. Over here, I actually, believe it or not, I actually still have the graduation balloon that I gave Mike when he graduated high school. In this case, Mike is buried at Arlington National Cemetery. He is in row 60, which is for the heroes. Right here, we have all the medals that he received while in the military. This is his, when he received his first stripe right here. This is a medal he purchased that shows his graduation, the year that he was at, you can see it right there, the year that he was at his basic training, the day he actually became a Marine, not the day he graduated. These are just some other medals. This is from the state of Tennessee, the House of Representatives. And this is a copy of the proclamation that the state of Tennessee wrote in honor of Mike. Of course, these are his military hats. His cap. The nameplate that I have on my car. Believe it or not, this right here is a chain that Mike wore to school. I don't know who gave this boy this chain, but he wore this chain to school, to high school, every day with his little earrings. I also still have I wear his ring. This is a replacement because the original someone stole after they did a hit and run on me. I still wear his watch every day. This is the watch he bought. He had in basic training. This is Okay, this is a picture of Mike with all of his high school football brothers, who are now my sons. And this is the site where this picture was taken at the site where Mike passed. These are his football brothers wearing a jersey. The front of the jersey looks like mine, and the back, they had a football of him. And these are the guys that are in this, some of the guys in this picture right here. This right here, it says where valor rests, Arlington National Cemetery. This is one of the greatest honor that my son lays in a place so honored because of the choices that he made for himself to become a Marine. I'll just flip through some of the pages. These are some of the people that are there. This is absolutely amazing. I love this book. Sorry. This is right here. This is the tomb of the unknown soldiers. When I stood here, I absolutely cried. I cried to think that someone that volunteers to serve their country unselfishly, because I truly think that it takes a special kind of a soul, a special kind of a person to volunteer to serve their country unselfishly, knowing that should they have to go to war, they may not make it home. So when I stood at the tomb of the unknown soldier, it brought tears to my eye. So you learned a little about PFC Michael Anthony Carter Jr. I hope that you will visit his foundation page. And I also hope that if there are any Gold Star mothers out here, that you will get in touch with me. And if you're not a Gold Star mom, that I can help you become a Gold Star mother, because it's one of the greatest honor. I thank you all for watching this show with me today. On the 7th of February, I will probably be crying like I do every year for my Mike. Thank you all. Thanks for your support. Have a blessed day, and as always, peace and love.
We're in trances, going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed. You like the fast life, you like to drive and get down and dirty. I got